Ryan Evans has always been a fan favorite on Counting Cars. He is the brain behind some of the most amazing changes at Counts Customs. But behind the paint jobs and classic car repairs, a lot of strange things have been going on, both on and off screen. The artist, who used to be private, is now facing problems that not even his crew saw coming. These include making unexpected personal choices and job moves that will change everything. What is going on with Ryan Evans, and how will it change the way cars are counted in the future? Ryan Evans' story is one of love, talent, and a little fame that came out of nowhere. Ryan was born in Illinois on January 4th, 1974, but his childhood wasn't very safe. The job his dad had in the US. Because of the Army, the family moved around a lot. They went from state to state and even country to country, but Texas and Germany were where they spent most of their time. Ryan, who was young at the time, got to see different countries, landscapes, and ways of life by moving around a lot. Ryan's life began to change when he was in high school in Germany at Frankfurt American High School. While most kids were having trouble with math, Ryan found airbrushing a new way to paint. A well-known graphic artist showed him this one-of-a-kind style of work and sparked an interest that would shape his future. This is when Ryan got his first taste of customizing something. He was given a t-shirt with his name sprayed on it. It was the beginning of a lasting love for making one-of-a-kind things. Ryan became even more interested in personalized painting. He came across an ad for House of Kohler, a brand known for making high-quality paints for cars. It was a moment that gave him ideas. Ryan realized that cars were more than just transportation after seeing the ad with its bright colors and intricate patterns. They looked like works of art. He was hooked. Because he loved painting cars more and more, he started to look into specialty painting cars and slowly made a name for himself in this niche field. When Ryan got to Las Vegas and joined Counts Customs, a repair and customization shop run by Danny Coker, known from Pawn Stars, his life took a big turn. When Danny was not the star of his own show, Counting Cars, he was sometimes an expert on porn stars. Ryan's part began to be small. He was just one of many painters working in the busy garage. But Ryan became more well-known as the show did. Danny was very pleased with his work on restoring cars, so he made him his right-hand man. He did more than paint cars. They felt like they had new life in them. It was during a contest for Employee of the Year at Counts Customs that Ryan had his big moment. What's the prize? A Chevrolet Suburban from 1975. Danny wasn't sure who to pick, so he held a buggy race to decide. Ryan wasn't the fastest at the beginning, but he was able to get around his opponents, start the Suburban's engine first, and win. It was a fun and unique moment that showed how determined he was to win no matter what. Ryan's skills were most impressive when he was fixing up a classic 1962 Cadillac. It wasn't just any job. It was meant to be shown off at the SEMA trade show, which is a big deal for car fans. Danny worked with Matrix Automotive Finishes to make sure Ryan could get the best paint system possible. Ryan was under a lot of stress to do something great. He worked on the Cadillac for long hours, doing it very carefully, mixing different shades of blue to make something beautiful. He hurt himself in the process, but he kept going. The car was a showstopper when it was first shown at SEMA. Ryan worked hard and was an artist, and it showed in every part of the painting. For Ryan, the time when Danny wanted to quickly sell another 1962 Cadillac was one of the hardest jobs. To save money, Danny planned to cover up all the metal. Ryan, on the other hand, thought this method wouldn't do justice to the classic look of the car. He also knew they were on a tight budget, so he suggested rechroming using a new spray method that uses chemicals and an activator. It was a dangerous but smart move, and it paid off. The Cadillac turned out to be worth a lot more than they thought, so they were able to sell it for more than they thought they could. Ryan wasn't just skilled at making cars look good, it was about coming up with smart ways to solve tough issues. His dedication to excellence won him honors outside of the show, such as being inducted into the Mini Truck Hall of Fame in 2018. This was a proud moment that showed how influential he was in the industry. Counts Customs had one of the most well-known jobs when rock star Alice Cooper brought in his 1963 Studebaker Avanti. Alice wanted the car to be completely fixed up with a new engine, new paint, and all the latest features. Ryan and the team were under a lot of pressure after hearing the interesting story behind the car. A former FBI agent saw the car in Portland about 10 years ago and knew it had been used by a Soviet spy. Alice bought the car. She couldn't bear to give up the past because it was so unique. Ryan and his crew had to be extra careful when they fixed things up. First, fix some harm that you can't see. Ryan paid close attention to every detail, and the end result was just what Alice had hoped for. As part of his job at Counts Customs, Ryan did more than just fix up old cars. He also got to know everyone there, including his boss, Danny Coker. Danny is a big part of why Counting Cars is so popular. Even before he played Count Cool Rider on his dad's late-night horror show in the 1980s, Danny had a personality that made people want to be around him. Dan, however, wasn't just a TV figure. He really knew how to fix things, and he loved fixing up old cars and bikes. Daniel has loved cars since he was a child. Danny learned early on that hard work could pay off because he grew up in a religious home with strict rules. He sang and played the piano as a baritone and performed with groups like the Coker Family Musicians. He even made it to Carnegie Hall, which was a huge deal and showed Danny what was possible if he worked hard. But Danny was interested in more than just music. He was at ease in both public and behind the wheel of a car. He first became known for his TV work when he was a guest on Pawn Stars and gave his opinion on old cars and bikes. Producers were interested in him because of his charm and skill, which led to his own show, Counting Cars, which ran in 2012. The show became a hit right away. Taking people inside Danny's garage in Las Vegas is against the rules. Danny isn't just the main character, he also holds the shop together. He carefully runs the business and is in charge of everything, from the smallest paint job to the biggest engine rebuild. People know Danny for his love of fast cars and rock and roll, but his personal life is mostly kept secret. He is married to Corey Farah, and they both love business and singing. They run Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill together, which is a famous place in Las Vegas known for its laid-back vibe and live rock shows. Danny's love for cars never goes away, no matter how many parts he plays. A white 1966 Mustang GT is still his pride and joy, and is part of his amazing collection of classic cars. He's made a lot of money from his business ventures, but he still works directly with customers at Count's Kustoms and is involved in every job that comes in. What did the cameras see after the film ends? Danny is still talking to fans of Counting Cars, even though there haven't been any new shows in a while. You can still get free walks of the garage. Car fans will be able to see some of the most famous builds from the show. The Count's Kustoms Facebook page is still up and running, with regular posts about new projects, repairs that are still going on, and even special events at the shop. Danny is still very much into music as well. He sings lead for the rock band Count 77, which plays music from the 1970s. Danny has a lot going on. He runs the yard, plays music, and is always on the move. He couldn't stand it any other way. He loves his busy life and is still driven by the same desire that made him start. There have been reports that Ryan is leaving the show, which was made worse by the lack of clarity around reality TV during the COVID-19 pandemic. Fans were afraid that he might be leaving for good. But a closer look at Ryan's social media and the Facebook page for Count's Kustoms makes it seem like that's not true. Ryan is still a big part of the group. He is still working at the shop on different projects, not just cars. Ryan has been getting better at being artistic by working on projects other than cars, like making big sculptures and table centerpieces for local businesses. Was a sculpture of an octopus whose limbs were draped over a cylinder-shaped base. Because it was so different, it showed how versatile Ryan is as an artist. There was hope for more episodes after the 10th season of Counting Cars ended in November 2021. Ryan and the crew are still committed to keeping the Count's custom style alive, but things haven't always gone well at Count's docks. In 2017, a big incident hit the shop when it was found that Joseph Frontiers, who worked in accounting, had stolen $75,000 from the company. Joseph had paid for things like plane tickets and a down payment on a Range Rover with money from his job. Danny and the rest of the team were shocked by the betrayal. Things got worse when the IRS charged Joseph an extra $18,000 in late tax fees because he didn't handle the money well. When Danny realized how bad things were, he had no choice but to fire Joseph and go to court against him. It wasn't just about getting the money back. It had to do with keeping the Count's traditions pure. Joseph paid the tax bill in the end, but his leaving left the shop with a bad taste and a hard chapter. There were more court cases after that. In addition, Danny and his team sued Randstad, the company that hired Joseph, saying that they didn't tell them about Joseph's shady past. What began as a problem within the company quickly turned into a complicated legal fight that put Count's Kustoms in the news for more than just their customized cars. Every now and then things go wrong, but Ryan, Danny, and the rest of the crew keep going because they love cars and art. Fans of the show are still hoping for new episodes and can't wait to see what creative projects Count's Kustoms will work on next. Ryan, on the other hand, is not leaving. He still cares a lot about his work. Scott Jones was an important part of Counting Cars in its early days. His hard work and smart money handling will be remembered for a long time. He was more than just doing math, he was an important part of keeping the shop running smoothly. He was known for being direct, though, which made things tense between the teams sometimes. Even though they fought on screen, Scott was always dedicated to the success of the business. Then, in Season 3, Scott did something unexpected. Tennessee became his new home after he left Las Vegas. Why? Family. Scott felt it was time to make a solid life for his family away from the fast-paced life in Las Vegas after the birth of his son. It was a hard choice, but it showed how much he cared about his family. Scott has mostly stayed out of the news since leaving the show and been living a quieter life. There are rumors that he may have opened his own car shop in Greenville. There, he can continue to enjoy his love of motors while spending more time with his family. At the same time, Rolly Sabo, the finishing expert who was born in Hungary, became a fan favorite because of his lively personality and unique accent. His antics made people laugh and added fun and charm to the show. Fans didn't know what to think when he quickly disappeared from the screen. It turns out that Rowley didn't really disappear. He worked on his own business, Rock and Rowley Custom Detailing, while he was still in Las Vegas. Counting cars gave him a lot of publicity, which helped him get a lot of clients. Then the pandemic came along, and like a lot of small business owners, Rowley had to deal with big problems. It was hard because there were fewer clients and more pressure to make money. Rowley was still strong and eager to rebuild. In 2019, he even went to Quebec, Canada to improve his detailed skills at a training center. This shows that he is dedicated to his job no matter what. Rowley keeps going even though things have been rough. He has a good attitude and works hard. Horny Mike is another memorable member of the Counting Cars group. He is known for his quick wit, sense of humor, and of course his unique creations with horns. He put horns on helmets, cars, and just about anything else he could get his hands on when he wasn't painting crazy things. Mike changed his life in the internet world after the show. Fans have been having fun on social media by seeing behind-the-scenes videos and personal posts from him. Mike is more than just jokes and horns, though. During the pandemic, he used his imagination to make custom masks with, you got it, horns on them. To promote safety and stay true to his brand at the same time was a smart move. Mike keeps in touch with his fans on social media, which is a great way to remember everyone that counting cars is still a lively hobby. Daniel Coker's right-hand man Kevin Mack has always been a bit of a secret. Fans didn't understand why he left the show in 2020. Was it a clash of schedules or a desire for more privacy? It was even more interesting that there were no clear answers. Even though Kevin isn't on the show anymore, he's still busy online, sharing bits of his life and avoiding talking about why he quit counting cars. Fans are even more interested in Kevin because he has chosen to keep his personal life private. For now, Kevin seems happy to keep things quiet. Next is Shannon Akow, a skilled builder who started counting cars in 2012. Shannon's skills were clear as soon as he walked in. His skill as a craftsman was clear whether he was fixing up an old car or making changes to a motorbike. But as the show went on, Shannon's on-screen appearances decreased, which made fans wonder what was going on. But Shannon's leaving wasn't because of trouble or disagreement. He just thought it was time for something new. Shannon stayed active in the car world after leaving the show. She took part in charity events, car shows, and other projects. He's still very interested in cars and making a difference in the community, even when he's not on TV. Even with all of these changes, Counts Customs is still doing very well thanks to Danny Coker's constant love for cars and the hard work of his team. Even with all of its ups and downs, the shop is still a symbol of creativity and workmanship that inspires fans and the next generation of car fans. Even though the cast members have gone their separate ways, it's clear that they helped make the show a hit and had an effect on fans. As you can see, the story of Counting Cars is far from over. There are still many more plot twists and turns to come. There are always new projects, digital material, and surprise appearances from the crew that keep the legacy going.